As you all can see, Chris has changed his hairstyle once again. We'll find out why right after this. And we're back.
We're back.
That's not Chris.
It's not Chris?
No.
Oh, I don't think
Not
it's
today.
Chris. Who do we have with us today?
I'm Carlo Selvaggi, and we run the Empire Coffee shop here, and it's a wonderful place. I know
It
you guys
is.
have been
Yeah,
there.
it is.
It is.
Really
It's
cool.
making waves, I feel like.
I feel
Waves
like it
of
is.
coffee.
Yeah, waves of coffee and fun and delight.
Blessing the land.
I was there.
Good morning, Beth. Thanks for
Saturday.
watching.
Yeah, good
Glad
morning,
you're here.
Beth. I was there Saturday morning, and it was just a complete deluge of rain outside. Yet you were full. I mean, there were people there, and that was kind of not so busy for you for a Saturday morning, right?
I can't believe the people who drive. I mean, we're talking, hours. We have people from Ava coming. We have people. At first, I was surprised people from Springfield were coming.
Yeah.
But then we started getting people from hours away, and we realized, we're kind of onto something. This is really something special. So
Yeah,
Kind of
well,
thing.
you have a unique. I mean, I had gotten your coffee there, and I told you the story, Carlo, when we were in there. My wife forever is like, I love the smell of coffee, but I can't stand to drink it. And I'm like, well, come here. And I think you made a believer out of her that you actually can get coffee that not only smells good but tastes good as well. So
yeah, well, you have to be able to. I think it's a big investment that we made with Dinesi.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're just a wonderful company that it's the best coffee I've ever had in my life, and I just figured this is something that we need to have for the public, and I don't think a lot of people here had ever tasted it, and that's why in
No.
the beginning we just gave away a ton of coffee to just have people understand the difference between it. And I think a lot of people were finally bought into that, and
Yeah.
they understand now the difference. We have regulars that they never drank coffee before because they said they didn't like it, and now they're in there every day.
Yeah.
So it's special.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not surprised.
it is.
When did you open?
Almost 9 months ago.
Okay.
We had been working on
Oh.
it for 9 months about, so now we've been open for 9 months. So
Yeah.
it's
9
How
months?
long?
Mm-hmm.
How long? I'm trying to make a point here for some folks that
Yeah.
So how long were you open? And you would open and you'd sit there for hours and no one would come.
Quite a while. In the beginning, it wasn't so busy in the beginning.
Sure.
But I decided with the team that we should expand the hours still, because I feel as though 2 p.m., which is like the normal closing time in Rogersville,
Yeah.
is probably not good. That makes people want to go to Springfield.
That's a good point. Yeah, it does.
I'd love to share with Rogersville to try to stay open as long as we can to kind of have all of our businesses be here so that, people will not go elsewhere. I think we have great businesses here. We have other great coffee shops in town. We have, great bakeries and things. We should try to stay open as much as we can. Obviously, there's labor's.
It's tough.
It's
yeah.
tough, but,
yeah.
it's.
Well, I think my point I was trying to make is I think a lot of people everywhere, but and maybe here, they think I'm going to start a business and people are going to come and I'm going to make money on day 2.
Oh, no.
And
No.
then 2 or 3 months goes by and they're like, we're just barely scraping by. I'm like, if you're scraping by after 3 months, you're lucky.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
Well, yeah, it's hard to understand that nobody is as passionate about your business as you are. And you have to pull them into you.
Yeah.
It doesn't just magically happen.
Correct.
We had a
Beth,
comment from Beth, like
Easter
Easter coffee, where you let the water flow over
Pass
the
over
grounds,
the grounds briefly.
Yes.
funny.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, well, you should get down and try this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a different deal. No, but I just think a lot of people don't put in, they have unrealistic expectations about what it takes to start a business, particularly
Yeah.
a retail business, probably particularly a food service retail
Yes.
business.
Oh,
where-
it's extremely difficult. Luckily, we have Amanda, who is just an amazing human being, and she kind of we work really well together at the shop, and I think we kind of have an advantage there where we have really great people. So
Yes.
it's really easy to work with Amanda. She's incredible.
Yeah.
So she kind of we have the same vision. We have kind of the same dream for the shop, and it's on that. I got to say we're blessed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And so explain who Amanda is, because that's helpful too, because you have kind of a unique setup for a coffee shop, right?
Extremely, yeah. So Amanda is the owner of Figgies, and this was her baby. And I just kind of walked in one day and go, oh, wow, this place is really nice. You should have a coffee shop here. Kind of tried that with a lot of other places, but Figgies was really a special vision.
Yeah.
And it's very large. It's a very large place. It's about 5,000 square feet, so
Yep.
It has really room to kind of grow. And but she had just wonderful stuff in there. And all the stuff is even getting better now. And I don't know, she's just had a really great vision throughout. And now that the shop is in there, it's just a really great combination. They're like
It
family
is.
now. It's
Yeah, I was going to say you guys have a really nice synergy because
Yes.
I brought my wife in for coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, I want to see all this stuff.
Yes.
exactly.
So she's walking around the store and she's wanting to, she wants to go back. So she's become kind of a regular shopping at Figgies and probably would not have, but for you having the coffee shop in there.
Oh, that's
So-
nice. That's nice to hear.
Well, and one thing I really think, because I immediately was drawn to Figgies when they first opened because we had needed a gift shop so badly in Rogersville. And so, I walk in the space and I'm like, well, this is very inviting. But you guys have taken that to a whole new level. And
Yeah.
I know that's been a lot of your influence on it. But I think a lot of people have gone towards this kind of cold, modern, sterile.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
environment is because that's what's trendy right now. And sterile is probably not a fair word, but it is. It's just it's more kind of a corporate type feel, and yours is very warm and inviting.
Yeah, well, I believe that beauty matters. It's I don't know. To me, it's just having the pergolas and all these things. It's not necessary, but I think it makes an atmosphere.
It does.
Like the string lighting, it just makes people feel comfortable. And kind of our whole point there is the inside-outside feel. So it's you go in and you feel like you're outside, but it's
Yes.
very comfortable inside, and that's why
Yes.
we have those pergolas. And the lighting is very important. And
It's
yeah,
huge.
It's huge. I mean, having white light is to me, it's very disappointing to go somewhere and have or separate lighting. It bothers me.
Yeah, yeah.
I know they're little things, but people truly, when they come in, it might be subconscious, but they really do understand beauty and feel the comfort of beauty.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of a big deal. And do we need to have these beautiful moldings and do we need to have Carrara marble? No, the answer, we don't need to.
Sure.
But does it help the customer feel comfortable? I think 100%.
Yes.
It's a perfectly decent place to take your laptop and go sit down and work.
Absolutely.
And that's the benefit to, not closing at 2 as well, is, some of those folks that would sit there and drink coffee and play games on our laptop and pretend like we're working.
Adulting.
might want to be there for a while. So I think that's good.
Well, the other thing is with the lighting, as you're going over the overpass, guess what you see?
Yeah.
You see this sparkling bright light, and I think what the most not only bringing amazing products to the community. I don't think that's probably your biggest success right there, but it is taking a chance on something that's very different than what we've had in the past. And because it's working and it's drawing people in. And to me, I think it's such a testament of, hey, Rogersville's not just a bedroom community. We maybe haven't found the exact things to draw everybody into primarily shopping in the community versus Springfield, but we're making some leaps and bounds. And I think Figgy's and Empire Coffee is a huge catapult in a new direction.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I think the people of Rogersville, too, they're so supportive. I always tell people, we never had a bad customer. Everybody is so nice here.
Yeah.
And everybody is just like, oh, we love it, keep going. And it's a great motivator. So it's like, thank you.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I think people like to know about your background because, okay, you're not from here, obviously.
No.
So but people are always like, well, how did you end up in Rogersville? That gets asked all of the time. So tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you ended up here.
Well, so I grew up in Italy, and that's kind of like where I got the whole coffee thing. Where when I was little, I was drinking coffee. I was like probably 5 or 6 years old, and I was drinking coffee. So I had the pleasure of having a plethora of different types of coffee, and the best one was Danesi. I remember it as a kid. But I moved to the United States, and may I say we moved to California, which I don't like to admit, but
Confess it, repent, move on with your
it's
life.
out there. I'm sorry. I was brought here. There's nothing I can do about it. But we lived in California for a while, and I've been trying to get out ever since. And as soon as I realized not everybody's like a Californian, I really started to love the American culture. And I probably did research for almost a decade on where to move. And Missouri, just in this area, is, I think, the greatest bubble in the United States. I think it's so beautiful here. The people are so wonderful. Some of us don't know what we have here. It's really special.
Yeah.
And I just hope that people, if they don't understand that, they should travel out and come back.
Maybe they should travel out and not come back.
Yeah, no, but it's wonderful. But that was, I worked in a lot of restaurants and high-end coffee shops. And really, I've worked everywhere. I worked for Apple. I worked for Best Buy. I've had, 1,000 jobs. I kind of bounced around a lot, but at the same time stayed with Apple and Best Buy for a very long time. Mm-hmm. But my favorite was always the coffee shop. And what I think I love seeing the most is, like parents with their kids. Like, 'cause I used to go with my dad to the coffee shop, and it was really special. So I love bringing that to people here, and I love
really cool.
seeing them. It's great.
Yep, it is. It is, and it's really neat to have a place to go, especially like on the weekends now, because notoriously it's been weekends are tough in Rogersville because we don't have the big workforce, and so it's hard for people to stay open because who's going to work there? Because a lot of people, we don't have a big teenage population, which that in general is usually your coffee shop employees during the weekends. So it's been tricky, but I do think that that's growing too, because I think we have a lot more college students in Rogersville living with their parents, maybe while they're going to college or waiting to go to college. And so that's helpful for workforce on weekends here. So, but it is, and I love taking the girls there. They get a kick out of it. They're always ready to go. Of course, they always want to buy something at Figgy's too, which I feel like
that's the trick there. That's how they get you.
Very sneaky. But,
I think one of the things that I think that people can do when they're starting businesses is know what your business is, know what your market is, and then pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Because we'll find people that they'll be like, oh, we're closed on the weekends because there's never anybody here. And like, well, yeah, but now it's basketball season, and you've got 300 families at the middle school
right at the corner
every Saturday.
Yeah.
Looking for somewhere to eat lunch, and and you're not open.
Yeah. Well, what me and Heidi, my business partner, what we talk about is, you kind of have to be open for the people, so to not disappoint people.
Yes.
Because there's nothing worse than going to the door and pulling on that door and it's closed.
Like happened to you this morning.
Yeah.
Do you not have it unlocked?
I wasn't even here. I
funny.
pull in the parking lot. Carlo's looking fine, looking sharp out there.
Well, I had to go to a party before this.
A soiree.
No, it's too early. I was thinking you guys should maybe change it to the afternoon waffle.
The afternoon waffle.
Yeah. It's a little early.
We could have the afternoon Joe. We could broadcast live from Empire
funny.
Coffee over there. That'd be all right.
Oh man.
And now I hope haven't missed some other piece of news, but we've got a new business coming in too.
Well, we're going to, after we get approval from health department and all these things,
Yeah.
we're going to do paninis, and we're getting prosciutto di Parma and all these beautiful meats and cheeses from Italy. We're trying to get Scamorza cheese, something a lot of people haven't even heard of around, and it's just they're wonderful, wonderful things that they're going to be surprised. There's a lot more surprises too, but I'm going to keep that for later
Wow, that's
times. But we have a lot of stuff coming, and the twins, man, they're working super hard. And I don't know, you guys, I'm sure you've seen them. They're there probably more than I am.
Oh yeah.
They're 100% more than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always going, where's Carlo? Like, wait on
The good thing about being a twin, though, is they think that at least the same one of them is there all of the time.
Yeah.
So you never know how much one is actually working.
Well, it's gotten so busy that they're pretty much both there now all the time. And where when we started, it was just like one of them and one of us. And now it's basically them. And then, oh boy, on Saturday, we are so crazy on Saturday. Yeah. It's insane in the morning. So we got to probably soon see about hiring some people. So.
Well, I asked them, I said, are you guys fraternal twins or identical twins? And they're like, we don't know.
They're identical. It's pretty obvious there.
Well, but okay. I wasn't sure because maybe they wear their hair enough different or comb it different or some things that I felt like they didn't look exactly
That's
alike.
classic Will. Like, I'm paying attention to a certain extent.
Yeah. So much. We'll pay attention for so long.
I do think, too, so I've lived in Rogersville since 2016, and it was true. I mean, there was a time for a long time on the weekends it was very dead in town.
Yeah.
I mean, there really was not a lot going on. And now I think our population growth has added a new layer. And also the environment of Springfield changing because, tootling over to Springfield isn't just a casual thing like it used to be. There's times where there's pretty well always traffic. It's busy. It's just a different, Springfield is a completely different feel than it was.
Because, it used to take 45 minutes to get from my house to Springfield because, you got 3 stoplights and all of that and stuff. But you would go anyway. And now it takes about 20 minutes, if that, maybe 15, and I don't want to go.
Yeah.
It's not the traffic, it's the culture.
It's just a different, Springfield just feels different than it used to.
Vastly different than it used to.
It is, yeah. And
we don't need to. We have so many great people and businesses here that I don't feel the need.
No,
yeah.
really don't either.
We just, we need to tell the businesses, as customers, what we want.
Yeah.
In the 9 months that we were building, we were going around asking people, what do you want in Rogersville?
Yes.
Well, and then you need to listen.
Yes,
listen
absolutely.
too.
Well, that's the
Absolutely.
biggest part is listening. We weren't even going to do decaf. And then on the third customer we had saying, hey, are you guys going to do decaf? I was like, okay.
We got to do
definitely.
decaf.
This is the third person. I'm going to do decaf.
Yep.
So that's and we have an amazing. It's called the Swiss water process decaf, where there is no chemicals. They do really an amazing job. Yeah.
I need to remember that because I've recently stopped drinking coffee after about 2:00 in the afternoon, but then I still crave it throughout.
Oh, you can enjoy it all the time.
I know. I need to remember that.
Normally, I tell people
in the
do not have
afternoons.
decaf because it's not good for you. Generally, it's not because of all the chemicals. They basically bleach it.
Yeah.
But the way Danesi does it is they just use water and it takes out the caffeine over long periods of time, and it's an amazing thing.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, I got to admit, I've never understood the point of decaf.
It's the taste. It's the taste of coffee.
For people who
it.
love coffee, but they stay awake all night if they have too much. I get it.
Seriously, it's terrible.
You just need to build up your tolerance to
No, that's not what it is. I've been a coffee and tea drinker for probably since I was 10 years old, and for years I thought that I had this terrible sleep problem. No, it was the coffee. There was no tolerance thing. It was if I drank caffeine after a certain time, I'm not sleeping. And then I finally, at 40 years old, realized that's what it was. It took me a while to figure it out.
Well, there's some other wonderful things about your shop as well, which I think is amazing. So, and I'll preface this by saying I just got new glasses about a week and a half ago. And they're pretty much similar to the ones I already had. They're a little bit smaller. But I went to I did the optometrist and we did the 1 or 2 and all that jazz. And I get my prescription changed and I go down to the shop and I pick out that and I pay for my glasses and leave. And they call me and they come back and to come back and get my glasses. And I go in and they do the fitting and everything. And it literally takes them 30 seconds. I'm like, yeah, those are fine. Let's go. And as I was leaving, I noticed for the first time a tip jar.
At the glasses place?
At the glasses
Oh, boy.
place. I'm
Oh.
just like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
What?
I'm going to, tip me. I mean, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, it's out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
The tipping culture is out of hand. And I mean, if you're,
It is.
if you're a service worker and you get paid less than minimum wage and you make your money on tips, I understand that. But I think it's gone to the point, I think, that people are getting angry about everybody asking for tips and everybody complaining about if you didn't tip 40% on your meal, you should just stay home.
Yeah, it's crazy. I agree with you.
I mean, you just got to do the math. If you, I mean, I've never been a server, I don't know, but I'm just saying if you wait on 3 tables an hour and they're all having a $60 ticket price and you want 40%, that's $24 from 3 tables. You just made 60 plus you made $70 an hour.
I don't know who wants
And that's-
40%. Is this a new thing?
Oh.
I'm not there.
Well, I've seen 35.
It's getting higher and
You
higher.
see, there's
Yeah.
some
I know it's definitely
there's some
getting
posts
high
on social media that
about
are like,
that.
About if you
That's
can't
crazy.
tip this. But anyway, I mean, okay, 20%. You still made almost $40 an hour. I mean,
Yeah, it's great. We want everybody to make money. I just feel like the tipping culture has really gotten out of hand, and that's why we don't accept tips. And I think the point too is
slid
like,
that in. I was trying to make a big point out of that.
Yeah.
That's why we don't accept tips. They don't accept tips.
well, no. It's
deal.
just, I think it's also a part of being comfortable as a customer.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just making you a coffee. We're not serving you dinner. We're not, creating this huge thing. We're making you a coffee, and sometimes it's drip coffee. I mean, we're literally, after we make it, we're.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
it may be actually Starbucks and the coffee shops that really started getting this out of hand, because that was kind of the place. That's kind of the first place where you had this. Here's your coffee. Where's my tip?
Oh,
kind
it's
of attitude.
absolutely. They just turn the thing over, and it's like, oh, here, would you like to? And you're looking at 20, 30, 40%.
Yeah.
You're just like, well, you just made me a coffee. It's crazy. In Italy, if you go to Europe, really, there is no tipping
Yeah,
for
there-
that.
Yeah.
So we are really big on being traditional. We have Chef Roland. He's come in. He's the same way. He does all the pastries traditionally. We
Yeah.
really like to stick to how the old ways are, the old flavors.
Yeah.
So we're really big on trying to keep that kind of, because some things that are older, I hate to say it, they're better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain things that they kind of did them right the first time, and it's okay to do that. I mean, it's kind of like I say, we have amazing beef that comes from Missouri because we are a top producing beef cattle state. That's because it works here, and it's going to taste good here. There are certain things that are just going to be better coming from other places because they've been doing it a lot longer than we have or other places in the United States have. And that's one of the things about culture that you have to embrace. Like you just have to be, it's almost a level of honesty. Oh, held Forland FFA today at the plant sale at the high school greenhouse, closes at 6 p.m. That's a good call out, Beth.
Yep, thanks, Beth.
But it's sometimes supporting culture doesn't mean coming in and taking over what you've had. It means being honest and acknowledging and pulling from the best parts of everything to create something amazing. And you just, again, you cannot assume that Missouri is going to have the best wine in the world, even though we have vineyards, because there's vineyards that have been around for, I don't even know how long the oldest vineyard producing wine in a place like Italy would be, right?
Right.
But you have to, you just accept that. It's not giving away your culture. It's wanting it to be better.
100%. I mean, that's why, I'm Italian, so I'm a little biased. We always think we're the best at everything. But we do carry, I know there's certain things we carry, like drip coffee. Italians probably aren't the best at that.
Yeah.
So, that's why we have Gavinia, it's a Spanish coffee, but realistically, the best coffee is from Hawaii that's drip coffee. They have a wonderful 100% Kona coffee. It's very expensive, so I can't do that to my customer. I mean,
Sure.
I still hide it in the back, so we do have it.
Yeah.
But, that's one of the things. It's like, so yes, actually in America, look, we do make great things.
Yeah.
But yes, we select from each country, each region, whatever the best is. That's why we're going to have a lot of product coming from the south of Italy, where I come from, that I know specifically they have some amazing stuff. That's why you have stuff from France,
Sure.
and Spain, and hopefully Turkey. And, we're going to have more things that we select from each place. And we have really good milk here, so we use Memory Lane.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I've been recently rewatching for probably the 6th time The Sopranos through, so I have a deep appreciation for Italian culture.
Italian American
They are
culture.
very good at certain things.
I was going to say.
The worst part of our culture.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how far I want to get into it. But,
Yeah, I don't think you
there's
wanna.
No, but there's. You can argue with the methods, but there was something that was a little bit real about the fact that, hey, this is our community, this is our culture, and the police won't help us, and they won't do that, and we're going to take care of our own. And then, like anything else, it gets a little out of hand.
It gets out of hand.
It
Yeah,
gets out of hand.
it gets out of hand.
But there was a little bit of nobility in that, and I don't know, I'm probably going to get somebody mad at me for saying that.
Well, I think it's like here we had the bald knobbers, right?
Yeah.
The general idea of the bald knobbers was that, well, we don't have a lot of law enforcement or ability to, get up and down the hollers and the hills of especially like the Branson area, because that's rough area to navigate. And I've explained to someone from England before, like we traditionally have been armed here, not just because of the why we ended up in America, but because our law enforcement is not close to us. We live out in places. Some people live 30, 40, 50 minutes from a grocery store, right? That's part of our culture. You don't walk down the street and see your neighbors. So when that is the case, you tend to have to take law enforcement in your own hands or you're just stuck waiting for someone to get there if you're having a problem.
Well, and despite all the respect we have for all of our people that do serve in law enforcement, my father was one. We love our sheriff here and all that stuff. Law enforcement's a misnomer. There's no law prevention. Police don't prevent crime. It's not that what happened. People prevent crime because you become a hard target. They respond once something bad has already happened, and so it's just, I don't know, it's a little disingenuous to think that it's like fire departments prevent fires.
No, they don't. They show up to help when there's a problem.
They show up to help once a fire happens, and usually some damage, if not a lot, has been done.
Yeah.
You got to be able to help yourself, and I don't care where you live. I don't care if you're in New York or Chicago. I mean, that's where you really need the ability to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And you can't.
One of the biggest things in business is they actually say you don't put out fires. You have to prevent them. So that's kind of like I totally agree. It's like you have to you it yourself.
Yeah, you have to be prepared. I mean that we circle back. That's the bald knobbers. That was the mob. That was all of these things. These cultures that thought, we're not getting taken care of. We don't have help. We need help. We're going to create our own help and protection. And then usually it gets to a point where, oops, that got out of control quickly.
Well, realistically, everything gets out of control.
It really does.
Everything is out of control. It's the nature of
people and organizations,
to get out of control. So
absolutely,
you
for sure.
Rein them back every once in a while.
Yes.
But I don't know that anybody's ever been immune to that.
No, absolutely not. Well, and if you got a good thing going, people want to partake in it, and then it just usually it escalates from there. I know. And Will's like, stay away.
I am.
We know, Will. We know.
Well, it's just happened to me way too many times. You start something, it's good. People go, hey, I want to be a part of that. And they want to go, no, I want to be in charge of that.
I want you to do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And
it's like, wait a minute. You didn't build this. You didn't start it. But now you want to be in charge and have the glory for it. I mean, I'm just seeing it happen over and over and over.
It's a fine balance, like you're saying, of taking the feedback from the customers. And then another modern customer thing in the world is the accommodation factor, the expectation that a business is going to accommodate wide varieties of small percentages of people. That's really hard to do.
We love feedback. We love people to tell us what we should be doing. We love that because that gives us an idea. If one person is voicing it out, I'm sure there's another 20 people thinking it. So, for us, we don't take that as a negative. We always try to go like, okay, that makes sense. How can we make that work?
Yeah.
So we always try to make it work.
And you're right. You got to hear that feedback. You also have to know what your mission is because you can't get pulled off mission because you end up trying to do too many things for too many people.
Right.
And that's what I keep telling them around here at the law firm a lot. And we will take some cases here and there that aren't really our mission, but our mission is to do estate planning and asset protection for folks and do it better than anybody else does it.
Yeah.
And, somebody
And
else.
you do.
Well,
and thank you, by
Yeah.
the way, for
Yeah.
taking care of us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we do some things that I don't think anybody else does. Anyway, that's not the point. But the point is, people will come in and say, well, why don't you take this case? You could do this. You could do this. You could do this criminal case again.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not my mission anymore.
Right.
I don't do that anymore. Yeah, I was good at it. Yeah, I did it for a lot of years, but I don't want to do it anymore. And that takes time away from what we're trying to do over and over and over again and do it really, really well for people. So we turn most of that down. I won't say all of it because there's I took a criminal case here just recently because I felt compelled for the person that I was going to be representing. I'm like, this person needs my help. And so, okay, I'll do it.
That's the right thing.
There's a lot of distractions in the modern world.
Yeah, well, there's always an unwanted need, and finding out the customer's unwanted need because they don't know. Like, they may not know that they want that.
Sure.
And that's the very big part of the beginning of our coffee shop is customers came by and goes, oh, I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. So I was always like, okay, we spent a lot of money saying, try this, try this. And, slowly people started going, oh my gosh, yeah, that is amazing. There's always an unwanted need in any business that you do. May it be like, law or, real estate.
Yeah.
There's always something that the customer doesn't know that they need that or want that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very common to start like looking at property with somebody and then I want this.
Oh, yeah.
And my last closing was the same exact way. They were like, we started here and we ended up here, and they were much happier with the product.
Well, your brother actually refused to sell me a house. This is how I started in Missouri, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I love that house. That's my dream house. I want to get that." And he goes, "No, if you want that house, I'm not selling it to you. It's not the right one." And I go, "Oh, what?" And so I was telling my friends back in California, I said, hey, this real estate guy, he told me not to buy this house, and he's not going to sell it to me, and he knows it's not right for me. And everyone's like, oh, you got to fire him. You got to do something. I said, no. I said, if he's willing not to, take a commission and to do that, it means there's something more to it. And I am so happy that I listened to him. And, we have a beautiful, beautiful home. I mean, it's incredible. I can't imagine not being there. And I'm so glad I listened. But again, that was me. I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
And he showed me as a professional. He knew exactly what.
Do you have a lot of people come to the coffee shop and say, "Hey, I've been Googling coffee all day, and let me tell you how you're doing it wrong"?
We never had that. No, we have never had that.
It happens to me all the time. I've been Googling about law and trust, and let me tell you,
I don't think you have this figured out.
I don't think you understand what you're doing. I'm like, okay, I've only been doing it for 30 years. I'm sorry. Jeez.
That's funny.
I have a poster. It's hanging in the bathroom. They won't let me hang it up. I want to hang it up. It says, "Don't confuse your Google search with my law degree." And they won't let me hang it up out here, but I really, really want to.
I wouldn't dare get into that.
No.
It's
Ew,
amazing.
no.
I've actually had people show up to their meeting with me, open a briefcase, and pull out their NOLO guide to estates and trusts that they've been reading. And I'm like,
That's terrifying.
No.
What is
I don't even think you can understand that book until you've had a year of that
Yeah.
law. I mean, I took that course for a year in
Yeah.
law school, studied it for a year.
When we brought our family, we said, Will, this is what we want. Do whatever you do. We
Yeah.
have no idea. Enjoy that.
Well, now you have
Yeah.
a little
Fun
bit of an
with
idea.
this.
Now we have a better idea, but I still would not. I would still go here, Will, please.
Well, it's like when I give my presentation, I tell people, so one of our 4 kind of key points, we found 4 areas of failure in traditional estate planning, where estate planning would fail. And one of those was people didn't understand their plan.
Yeah.
So I was talking about how much we want our clients to really understand their plan.
Yep.
And I always say, now, wait a minute. When I say understand your plan, I want you to understand your trust, your estate plan, your will, everything that you've got, the same way I understand my truck. Which means I know how to start my truck, I know how to put it in gear, I know how to drive the truck, I can get from one place to the other, and I know how to take it to the guy that can change the oil for me.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to build it, I don't know how to take it apart,
Yeah.
I don't know how to repair it, I don't know what each little part does, I don't know what each little thing does, but I know how to use it.
You know how to use it, yeah.
And 80% of our clients, they go, oh, okay, I get that. I need to know how to use this. And then, you've got the 10 or 15%, they're like, well, what does this word mean? I'm like, here's a law school applicant. I don't have time to teach you a year's worth of
Yeah.
of law just so that you can know what every little gadget whiz bang thing does in your car.
Whiz-bang.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right?
I mean, I could talk about coffee all day, but I'm sure I would annoy every customer that came in. You know, I feel like if I feel like someone maybe wants to know, we can talk about it. But
Yeah.
it's just like that. I mean, you're going to sit there and explain.
Well, you know, and
that.
there's some extent, I'm happy to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about kind
yeah,
of broad strokes
Yeah,
and all this, but there's some of it's like, this doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, about what, you know, it's not going to mean anything unless your crazy Uncle Fred marries a Guatemalan and they bring in an adopted kid from Spain, and then that clause is going to kick in and save your estate from that crazy situation. You know, there's a lot of, I mean, that was obviously not.
That was a very specific and
yeah.
random
Well,
example.
Yeah, it was. It was. But there's a lot in what we do that just is just in
Oh,
case
yeah.
something happens, it's protected. But
Yeah.
I digress.
I digress.
Let's talk about
It's
some
funny.
coffee.
Has there if you can think of it off the top of your head, what have been some things that have just completely surprised you about this process of opening a business in a place like Rogersville?
Oh, well, lately it's been the amount of people that come in on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I am absolutely shocked by that. And I'm absolutely shocked by, there's a storm outside, which I'm terrified by.
Yeah.
And there is just crowds of people still coming. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to 70-degree weather, 80-degree weather all the time. and
Yeah.
I don't
Those are
go
the
out.
locals.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the locals.
They're amazing.
Yeah. So
They're amazing
when the
people.
storms around here, the locals go out on your front porch and
Yeah.
you watch the storm.
Yes.
You watch the tornado go by.
You know what
Yes,
you're
we
doing.
have Ronnie who does that.
The people
He's the
that
regular.
freak out because the storm room is 5 minutes away and that they're not from here. Yeah.
Right.
Most of your locals don't even bother to go to the storm zone.
Oh yeah, that's
Do
true.
you have barn swallows?
Barn
Do you have
swallows?
any barn swallows at your place?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know where
Well-
this is going.
Oh, you don't?
No.
A barn swallow. We have barn swallows at our place. Barn swallows will not build their nest where there's going to be a tornado. So if you have barn swallows,
First time hearing of
there's
this.
barn swallows, you don't have to worry about tornadoes.
Oh, that's
at
just
that.
the default. They just know.
Yeah, they just know.
Oh.
So if you have barn swallows, you don't need to worry about tornado.
We had barn swallows in our barn growing up.
Did you ever have a tornado?
Well, supposedly at some point a tornado went close enough that it blew the windows out of it. So I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. They just know.
Yeah, but it probably didn't hurt them. They were probably fine.
They're probably fine. Never speak. We also had pigeons in there. What does that mean?
Oh, well, that was the problem. The,
The
pigeons were
pigeons?
canceling it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
They brought it in.
The New Yorkers were coming in.
I don't think they were New York pigeons. Oh my goodness. That's one of the more random things that have ever been said on the Waffle Wheel. Congratulations.
surely
The
not.
barn swallow ideology of it will keep you safe from storms. I didn't know. I've lived here my whole life.
I'll
I
have to
didn't know.
bring them to my house.
Yeah.
How you-
They're very messy and
I'm
kind
terrified
of
of
annoying.
tornadoes. That's the California part. I'm like, earthquakes, no problem. We could ride that out easy. It's kind of fun. Tornadoes, not fun.
They're sketchy.
No, they look terrifying. Yeah.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
They are. Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, the bad ones are bad.
Yeah, the
They
bad
just
ones are bad.
don't
There's just
happen-
not that many bad ones.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen that often.
You hope you never encounter a bad one. All Ozarkians can say what they want. If you're staring down an EF5 tornado, you're terrified. It's hell on earth. But that is the deal, right? They're very rare, and so what we are used to and not afraid of are the typical storms that we've dealt with our whole lives.
Well,
The
and-
EF5s are a different deal.
And usually when we're talking about that stuff, we may be on the porch, but we have a basement.
Yeah,
We
there's
can
a
get there in
place
about
to
30
run.
Seconds.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I can wise that tornado and go.
And then I go down.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's going on. Or
Yeah.
you go, oh no, we're going to the basement. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we're living in our basement right now. So when the storm came through the last time, my wife's like,
You're
"We
good.
need- We need to get up and see what's going on."
Just
I'm like,
sleeping
I'm
in.
staying in bed. I'm already in the basement. What am I going to do?
I'm
You know?
safe.
I'm right here. It's all good. So anyway.
So future hold, you've got exciting ideas, and I think we're all looking forward to the expansion of Empire Coffee or different layers of that, however that's going to work, because it's been a great thing. And I don't know, what else do you need to tell Rogersville?
Well, tell us the hours. Just remind us.
Oh,
of
yeah.
what your new
Oh, we
hours
just
and
we
all that
just
stuff.
changed our hours.
Yeah.
So we are now opening at, and we're going to change them again.
For sure.
So once we get food and all that
24/7.
approved, then
Yeah.
Honestly,
Waffles.
I'd love to stay open till 10. I always tell people I'd love to stay open until 10 p.m. I'd love to do 7 days a week, and I'm hopefully one day that's coming. But for now, we're going to open Monday. Well, Monday we're closed right now. So Tuesday through Friday, it's going to be 8 a.m. To 6 p.m. And then Saturday, we are doing, yes, it's 8 to 4. And then Sunday is also going to be 11 to 4. So this is still malleable. So we're still going to like kind of flex around a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the moment right now is what we've changed for this week and going till, through summer and everything. But once
that makes good sense through summer. Yeah.
Once the food is there, then we're going to talk about dinner and staying open, and then maybe more options with different chefs. And obviously Chef Roland being, he's like
he's amazing.
He's the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
Yep.
We're talking someone who's like 80 plus years old here.
Yeah.
And he, I don't understand how he does it.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible.
Baking is a whole different thing.
It
Baking
is.
and cooking are whole different things.
His consistency is mind blowing. I mean,
incredible.
I've seen his pastries for close to a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
His consistency is mind blowing.
Oh, it's outrageous, and it's all by hand. Who does that anymore?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It
I
is
love your opening
incredible.
at 8 on Saturdays. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Just that extra
we
hour.
went a little bit down, hoping to hold back the crowds.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that maybe it'll be a little bit smoother to open. We'll see.
Yeah,
how
because
that goes.
busy's hard. I mean, a rush all at one time is not easy.
We don't like seeing people in line.
Yeah.
It terrifies me only because I don't like being in a line.
Yeah.
And I don't like waiting. And so when I see my customers waiting, I just
You just can't settle in. Yeah.
And then I cannot serve them the way we normally do on the weekdays. So we're trying
Yeah.
to figure that out without having to hire, 5 more people.
Yeah.
But we would love to take care of people just like we do on the weekdays on a Saturday. So we're trying to kind of spread it out a little bit.
It
for
feels
that
like
day.
that's always been the bane of almost every coffee shop is the wait time from order to service.
Yes, and we grind every single
Yeah.
espresso. So
Yep.
every single, and we have 2 shots in most of our drinks. So every time we're grinding a couple, and that takes kind of a long time. We're not a fast coffee shop really. So we do everything kind of I'd say the correct way. Right?
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit longer.
It's not a speed
So
process.
it's not a speed thing.
Yeah, and,
No.
and people need to understand that too. It's it's not a speed process.
Right,
It's a
right.
service process. It's a product process. It's a different type of thing.
And we're different as a coffee shop in that we
Yeah.
like people to stay there. A lot of coffee shops want you to get your drink and
leave.
go home.
Yeah.
We don't. We want you to. That's why we have gigabit internet. We brought that in so people could stay and work. And we genuinely. That's why we have couches. We want people to be comfortable,
Yep.
sit down, and why we have beautiful soft music, Frank Sinatra, and all this beautiful stuff. We want people to just stay, relax, be comfortable, shop around.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
It is.
If you haven't, if nobody hasn't been there, you need to go
Right.
because
And you can
will
leave your
not
dishes on the
understand
table.
it.
Yes.
You won't understand where you're at. You don't understand the place until you've been there. What did you say about the tables?
So you can leave your dishes on the table.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually, that's another surprising thing from Missourians. I mean, they are such good people. They all get their plates and come to us and go, "Oh, we have our plates." Like, no. I said, "Hey, leave it. You don't. You don't need to."
I'll
do
quit
that.
one of these days. I'll stop.
In general, we
it's
like
really
to be
hard,
helpful.
but it is. It's really hard to. It's hard to get up and walk away and kind of leave.
It's
that-
very hard. It goes against every fiber of my being.
I-
I'm not even.
It really does.
I'm like, okay.
Just leave it.
But
Let
if
us
I pick
do it.
up their dishes too and bring them over. I don't
just
know where
bust some
that
tables
comes.
for you
I
before I
don't
go?
know. I don't know if that comes from helping clean up after church potlucks or at grandma's house or what that is. But that, I mean,
Well, I mean, it's a lot of people here, and I also was not expecting is for people to be so nice to want to bring these things back.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're just no, let us serve you, let us pick up after
yeah, that's
you.
a hard concept
It's-
for
Yeah,
us.
it's rough.
I don't know why, but it is.
They're getting used to it. It's
Yeah.
getting better. We have to let go as customers and let ourselves be served. I think that's the biggest thing. And we don't call out names, and that was one of the reasons we have an opening there versus closing out the counter is because we want to go out and bring you the coffee. We want to go out and serve you, and wow,
and not get a tip.
Well, but that's
But see, that's the thing, though. That's the type of service that you would want a tip for.
Yeah.
That's service that's worthy of a tip, as opposed to all the other people begging for one.
That's why you'll come back.
That's why we'll come back.
you go.
That's right. And you'll come back too next week right here on the Morning Waffle. Thanks, Carlo, for being here. It was a great show.
Thank
It was a
you.
good show. It was very
Thank
fun.
you so much.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks.